And we are live. Second video of the sexy microphone voice series activated. We're gonna go on Google, and tonight you're shopping for engines. We're going engine shopping with Race Ready. First, you collect real life information for anything that you do. You know what I mean? Let's go to Chevrolet.com, Chevy themselves. And this website honestly makes me feel like a kid in a candy store or a fat guy in a fat burger. I don't know if I can say that. Ooh, demonetized. Anyway, so many different engines, torque values for them, horsepower, RPM, all the data, all the parameters, all the dimensions, everything is there for you. I believe they're sorted out from the most powerful one at the bottom, and then the weakest engines are on top, like it's structured that way, which makes it convenient. This is getting close to NASCAR levels right there, the one in the bottom. Not quite there on the RPM, but anyway, the weakest 8-cylinder right here, 300 horsepower, 290 Deluxe. I'm really curious about this 4-cylinder LTG. That's a 4-cylinder turbo guy. Would be great for like some Super Hornet mod or something, but whatever. We'll keep that on for later. What else is interesting? If you go through the classifications and hit on circle track, which should probably be called oval track, honestly, you get the same 3 crate engines that you've been familiar with, hopefully, or maybe not. But anyway, Chevy offers this 3 crate motors for your oval racers: CT350, which is a GM602, CT400, which is a GM604, and CT525, which is CT525, pretty much. Here you can see their horsepower ratings and all that crap, but anyway, let's go visit another website. Let's go to JEGS too. Let's not just trust Chevy all alone. What is JEGS? If you don't know, up to you, find out. Anyway, we're gonna go to complete engine assemblies ready to run, and that's the website that really makes you feel like a kid in a candy store. Not only it has Chevy, it has all other engines, which causes about 180 engines showing per page. Total of 400 different engines. Just you gotta shut the fuck up right there and pick one. That's just too many, we know that. I just wanted to show you the other website where you can also buy an engine. Also, they tell you how much they are and all that crap. We're gonna go and search for our first one, GM602. That's super simple. Boom, right there, $3,800. Remind you of that later. 350 horsepower at 5400 RPM, 380 torque at 3800 RPM, and let's compare it to the Chevy one, which doesn't show you the torque RPM until you click on the engine. Amazing. But okay, here we could see 3800, 380. Jax probably copy pasted the fucking ratings from the Chevy website and just buys and resells these fuckers. Anyway, conspiracy theory time. Look at the part number, 888-69602. Just 602, that's why they call him 602, because of the last 3 numbers on the part number. But 8869 right there, you tell me if it reminds you of anything here. NR2003 lovers, right there on the part number, as you can see. If it's similar to anything you've seen before. And thank you very much, Jax, for this awesome dyno chart, which shows torque and horsepower and RPM and everything you need to know about these engines. It actually starts at 2000 RPM versus where the Chevy dyno starts at 3000 RPM, just take a note of that. But anyway, we could take a look at the torque curve. If you didn't know, horsepower is a bullshit number that's calculated out of RPM and torque combination, so don't pay attention to horsepower. It's all about how much torque you got throughout your RPM range, which is basically the same thing as horsepower, honestly. Do your own Google research. Don't take me for a bullshitter. Just go on Google and say why horsepower is a bullshit number, and read an article or two, and maybe, hopefully, you'll understand. Moving on to CT400. Why is it called 400? Because it makes 406 horsepower or whatever, 404 horsepower. And it's 604 because the last 3 digits of the part number are 604, so it's much easier. That's what people called them. You could see the torque curve for the 604 is, let me actually see if I can line them up next to each other. Ooh, me. Ooh, this is really good. Wow, okay. So just make sure you're on the same scale from 0 to 450 and from 3000 RPM to onward. And we could see the difference between the two engines right there in front of our own eyes. It's all in the torque curve, the one that's in white. And you could see how the 604 has a nice crispy flat curve all the way through the RPM range, where the 602 starts to fall down a little bit. After 5000 RPM it dips, probably runs out of breath or whatever, you know, the cylinder head airflow, because these two engines have different cylinder heads. The 602 has the iron heads and the 604 has better aluminum heads. And there you could see it on the torque curve. Just notice at 5400 RPM how much more 604 is outputting. And these are the telemetry curves that are supposed to come out of your simulator engines when you run these modified engines in the future and you open up these torque curves, the white ones. They should similarly at least represent the differences between the two. Might not be exact, but at least this one has to be this much more at this many RPM. But to throw it in a mix with three engines to make it like, you know, three variables comparing to one another in performance and telemetry and all that crap. Let's take a look at the CT525. And let me just go for all you nerds in advance. We're gonna need displacement, we're gonna need stroke, we're gonna need intake valve sizes, which are all right there. Compression ratio, it does not account for compression ratio. More compression simply means more PSI during the bang, like more BMAP. So I could see how compression ratio doesn't matter, but I'm still looking for it in the EXE, like along the 3 million extra lines that we pulled. And red line, of course. But anyway, CT525 does not have a torque curve graph on the website for some reason. That's, I don't know, but I'll show you a trick. If you go on YouTube and you type that shit in, Chevy Performance, the same guys whose website we just visited. Okay, guy, we cannot hear you because I muted desktop audio anyway. But yeah, you could watch all the videos for all the products that you could see on the website. Let's just go back to the 525. Let me see if I can make you guys listen to this dude. Guess not. Okay, well then it's the race ready version of Chevy Performance CT525, and it's like this, like that, performance, dipstick, and here we are at the torque curve. You're just gonna have to screenshot that shit yourself. The range is a little bit different. It's from 2000 to 7000 on the RPM, and the maximum range right there is 550 torque, not 450 like on the Chevy website. So you have to account for that in the future. But here you are. This is the torque curve for the 533 maximum horsepower engine. Supposedly, of course, depending on where you are, air density, temperature, elevation, time of year, galactic frequencies, the amount of squeakers on your channel, it all varies, you know, like all the torque, you know, and horsepower, they go up and down sometimes. But here we are. Let's take a price quote on 602. I mean the 604, a whooping $6,300, $6,400. If any of you are running like offline league series, it'll be a cool mark for like, you know, economy based type of shit. You can charge them for an oil change, you know how many quarts of oil that shit takes, and charge them for each quart or whatever. But this for the offline league nerds. Shout out to you guys. You're awesome. I love offline leagues, honestly. I think NASCAR 2003 is probably the best game in that aspect, like creating NASCAR memorabilia and like all the NASCAR moments and cars and all that NASCAR stuff. Like besides the simulator, that part is pretty good too. So I don't know. And price code for the CT525, you might as well go late models for an extra G right there at 76. Excuse my dyslexia, so many sixes right there. $7,600 for that motherfucker. And a torque curve from Jags. Okay, we have an alternative torque curve from 0 to 550, from 2 to 7000. Yep, that's the one. I think when you make all three engines at once, the difference between the telemetry of those engines coming out from the game should be somewhat similar, or representing somewhat similarities between the torque curves and the engines and all the shit that we just saw on all these videos. Now let me just go back into the future, back again, and show you a little cheat. You just type in GM602 rulebook, and then you can simply see all the rules and all the tracks and all the series that use the 602 engine off the bat. You don't have to search or be knowledgeable in any of that shit. You just type in GM602 rulebook, boom, Blue Ridge Motorsport Speedway, late performance sportsman rules, yada 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 yada, Stafford Motor Speedway, and you can search go on. Same goes for 604, limited late model stock rules, late models Carteret County Speedway, fuck knows. But you will know all information regarding these engines and the cars and the series and the tracks that run that shit. Same for the CT525. There's a little trick right there. For the future, we're gonna take a look at that later. But for now, peace of you that have been watching till the end. Yeah, see you later.